Welcome to the Football Forecast, your ultimate guide to the NFL week ahead. Get ready as we dive deep into the biggest matchups, analyze key player performances, and break down the strategies that could make or break your favorite team's chances. Whether you're looking to dominate your fantasy league, make smart picks and bets, or simply stay ahead of the game, we've got you covered with insights and predictions. So buckle up, football fans. It's time to get your game face on for another action-packed week in the NFL. While only one team can hoist the trophy at the end, it all starts with the forecast.
Yes, here we go. It is week 4 of the football forecast here on the Empty the Bench Podcast Network. Make sure you can check us out on social media. We are across all platforms at TFB Forecast ETB, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, where you can get our Thursday night forecast picks, our, whatever makes the rounds here on our show, and also our Sunday night, Monday night picks as well. And we're going to have a few extra of those this week with 2 Monday night games and even an international game as well. Also check us out on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/ETB Network, where if you like our videos, please leave us a like. If you're new, hit that subscribe button. And of course, make sure you have your notifications set so you know when all of our stuff is going to be coming out. And if you can't watch us on the video side, you can check us out on the audio side by listening to the Football Forecast wherever you get your podcast. And the Football Forecast and the Empty the Bench Podcast Network is presented by Playback. Stay tuned later on in the episode for a word about Playback.
Also, this is new for this week for the network. We've already been starting to do it already, but the Football Forecast and the ETB Network odds presented by Novig. Stop betting against the house. With Novig, you play against real users. Keep 100% of your winnings and get 1,000 Novig coins plus $5 in Novig cash just for signing up. Use the code ETB Network, ETBNETWORK, and get in the game today. You will hear a longer message later on in the show.
Look at that. Teamwork, baby. Teamwork makes a dream work. Well, guys, how do we all feel as we enter week 4 already? We're about a quarter of the way through the season already. It's been a very, very strange start to the 2024 season. I'll tell you what. I mean, when you look at us trying to figure out this year, we think we can figure out this year. We can't. It's been bad beat after bad.
This has been a wild 4 weeks here in 2025 so far.
Sure, and we'll see if we can get a great week out of all of us. Now, I will tell you, when you look back at last week in terms of our standings, the big winner out of all of us was Christy. Ended up at 9-7. So Christy gets the 4 extra points for the winning week. And I'll tell you what, that was even with Christy and a couple of us having arguably the worst bad beat of the year last week. The Rams and the Eagles. And I think I heard you guys about 10 minutes away when I was at my favorite bar where I hang out Sunday afternoons for the games. I thought I heard a couple of you guys yelling at the TV at the TV when that missed in that blocked field goal.
Yes.
Hey, I wasn't. I wasn't.
Oh.
I was happy he ran it back.
Yeah.
I didn't mind that one. I didn't mind that one.
The
Packers blowing it in the fourth quarter to the Browns.
That wouldn't have mattered anyway because there wouldn't have been a cover anyway. But
I'll take that one. And I know actually what Nick was yelling at was the fact that the Jets, who were down 23-6 in the fourth, came back, actually took the lead on, speaking of blocked field goal, came back, took the lead, and then gave it right back at the very end. And unfortunately, another bad beat in terms of your lock, Nick, to start the year.
Can someone tell Aaron Glenn to not dance before the game is over? Please. For the love of all things holy, no dancing until you win the game. Fair and square.
Exactly. No dancing.
It's what a year and a bit of bad luck that we're having in terms of the beats this year. But I will tell you, as we look at the standings through 3 weeks, Michael is in the lead with 56 points at 24-24. We actually have a 3-way tie for second between Nick Morgeson, Zan, and Christy, 25-23 for 54 points. Tom is at 500 as well, 50 points. Ben has 44. Nick D is 40. Grant has 40, and I have 38. I actually improved to 7-9 last week, so it puts me at 19-29 for the year. But let's see what we could do, guys, for week 4, which has a little bit of everything, including an international game. So we all ready?
Let's go.
All right, Michael, you're our leader, so we'll start with you in game 1. And for the first time, at least in the NFL, we are playing a game in Ireland. And it is, in fact, a Joe Davis, Greg Olson, Pam Oliver, Jamie Erdahl special on the NFL Network as the Minnesota Vikings take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Vikings 2.5-point favorites, the total 40.5.
Okay. Vikings looked great last week. I liked the way they looked. Kind of shocking, if we're being honest, but it is against backup quarterback for the Bengals. So the Bengals just had a rough game. So in this, I am going to take the Vikings at -2.5 here. I think they'll win by more than a field goal. Also, keeping the trend, not betting on Aaron Rodgers.
No.
I will not do that. But I do like the Vikings winning this game by more than by a field goal. So,
All right, so he will take the money. Ben.
Yeah, this is a matchup. I don't like either team personally, but I'm going to go with the better defense. I'm going to go Minnesota. Brian Flores at least has shown in the past that he could scheme up and force turnovers. I really wasn't impressed with the Steelers. I obviously know that they beat us last week, so I should be impressed. But if it wasn't for us fumbling 5 times and 2 of them in the red zone, we should have won that game. So I'm going to go Vikings to cover. I don't think it's going to be because of their offense, but their defense forces some turnovers on Rodgers.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me, Ben. That's how I missed my lock last week.
Oh no!
13 points in the end zone last week. So there was my bad. There was my bad beat of last week.
Rough.
Yeah, actually, this is a tough one because these teams feature 2 guys that I don't like to bet against: Brian Flores and Mike Tomlin.
All right.
When I look at this matchup, a good way to beat the Vikings is to run it some more. Well, the problem for the Steelers is they rank second to last in rushing yards per game. I'm gonna base this game on trends, and that favorites are 36, 20, and 1 against the spread in these international games. So I think that trend's going to continue, and I'm going to say that the luck of the Irish will be with the Vikings on Sunday. So I will lay the 2.5 and take Minnesota. Christy?
I'm going to say the Vikings are going to have the look at the Irish on their side. I'm picking the Vikings to take the money.
Tom?
I wonder. The one who's supporting the Vikings. I wonder what he's going to pick.
Gee, I wonder what.
Oh, I should have started with you, Tom. That's my mistake.
Let's be real.
I was wondering, he's thinking really, really hard about it here.
Johnny, I understand the concern that you said about, not betting against Mike Tomlin. The other thing, though, is, the Vikings and Steelers can go a little tit for tat with the defense. Obviously, the Steelers have TJ Watt, but as you said, Steelers offense they're doing well. I'm actually kind of impressed that they're 2-1. I was concerned that Aaron Rodgers being at the helm was going to make the offense suffer. But I think even with Carson Wentz playing for the Vikings, they obviously Bengals were going through their injury issues, but they just looked all around great. It's one thing for the Vikings to win a game in a battle of backup quarterbacks. It's another thing to dominate in the way they did. And you know what? This is not the first time the Vikings have had to make use of a backup, a lower ranked quarterback. They have done it a number of times. Hell, last year, Sam Darnold, they managed to find success. One of the better teams in the NFC with Sam Darnold at the helm. So I am going to go against Mr. Are you? Oh, darn. I thought that was RELAX. I don't know where it is on here.
Oh, wait. You're going mean this?
Yeah, there we go.
X.
I'm going against Mr. RELAX. I'm taking the money on Minnesota.
Nick?
So I thought about this game for a while, and originally and I wrote it down already, but I think I'm going to change it. Originally, I had the Steelers plus 2.5 because I actually like the way they're playing this game. But I'm actually going to go away from the pick I wrote down
Ooh.
on the sheet. I'm actually going to take under 40.5 because the international games have proven in the past that the offenses don't gel well when they go overseas, and they're usually low-scoring games. Go ask the Jaguars how that's worked out multiple times when they've gone over there. Go ask the Jets, who have an international game coming up. They don't
Ooh.
score very much when they go overseas. So I'm going to stay away from the spread because international games are a potluck, and you have no idea what's going to go on over there. So I'm actually going to take the under 40.5.
Okay. And our guys that are not here this week, all over the place. Zan's taking the Steelers, Grant taking the Vikings, and Nick D is also taking the Steelers. So we are split here to start up there in Ireland. All right, Nick, I ended with you in the first game. I'll start with you here back in the States. It is, in fact, an Iron Eagle, J.J. Watt, Evan Washburn special on CBS as the Washington Commanders take on the Atlanta Falcons. A big swing in this line on Friday. The Commanders were a 1.5-point favorite, and with the news of Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin both out, it's the Falcons now that have become a 2.5-point home favorite.
I mean, the line flipping is not a surprise because those are two major offensive weapons for the Commanders. What is the Commanders' offense at that point? They traded the running back away, so they don't really have that much option there. Their number one wide receiver is out. Their quarterback is out. I think he's going to be out longer. I think that injury is a much more massive injury than we're making importance of. So I'm going with the spread being flipped. I'm going to take the Falcons to cover.
Michael?
So I actually did a little bit of research, and I don't know if you guys know this, but when the Falcons give up, when Michael Penix has played football, when they give up more than 7 points, he's lost every game. So
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Every start he has, if it's more than 7 points, he's lost the game. So I'm gonna go with the Commanders here to win.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it is a little ridiculous of a stat. I don't think the Commanders are that good without Terry or Jaden Daniels, but Mariota did look good last week. They still have Debo. Debo's a great weapon for them. I think the run game can still be good, and I don't know. I don't trust that stat with Penix, so maybe he breaks it, but I'm not going to trust it, so I'm going to go with the Commanders here.
Ben?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Atlanta. I just think with the losses of Jaden and Terry, I just think it's a lot for the Commanders to overcome. Plus, their running attack. I think Atlanta got absolutely embarrassed last week. And they played really, really bad. And I think it's just a get right for the Falcons. I mean, if Jaden and Terry were healthy, I would pick Washington. But I think the Falcons are going to win. So I'm going to have them to cover.
Yeah, 4 weeks in, I'm still trying to figure out both of these teams. It's been tough to figure them out in the early going. I base this game on what's more likely to happen: Marcus Mariota and the Commanders having a repeat performance, or Michael Penix and the Falcons rebounding. And I think it's going to be the latter. I actually had the Falcons when they were getting a 1.5. I'm not going to change that here, even though they're laying 2.5 now. I'm going to take the Falcons. And they have their bye week coming up next week, something to keep an eye on too. Christy?
I mean, Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin being out is definitely a blow for the Commanders. And even if Marcus Mariota plays well, I don't know. I think I'm going to go with the Falcons.
Tom?
I would hope that the Falcons would be able to rebound. However, it's just amazing. I feel like the Falcons are the fool's gold of the NFL because they have all that talent and they just continuously disappoint. So, or if you want to know, originally when early in the week, when Johnny put out the early line, late Tuesday, early Wednesday, and the Commanders were the 1.5-point favorite, I was looking at that as a lock. But with Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin now out, I don't trust that. I still don't trust the Falcons. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going with an under.
Oh,
Okay.
Ooh.
I don't think that's a bad call, to be
No,
honest,
that's
either.
not. That's a good
Wow.
call.
We'll find out what happens down there in Atlanta. All right, guys. This is the start of 5 consecutive fast track games here in the 1 o'clock window. Let's go up to Buffalo to Highmark Stadium, and the biggest line so far of this young season.
Actually, wait, Johnny, before you do that,
Yeah.
what about the other 3? What are they doing for?
I got to get Nick D's. He didn't give me it, but
Okay, sorry.
Zan took the under, and Grant also took the under. So they're actually going to ride with you and taking the under.
Hey, okay.
Yeah. All right, guys. This is so far in this.
He
young
took the
season.
Bills. Nick D took the Bills.
No,
Oh.
the
That's
other
in this
game.
game he did.
Oh,
He
For the
skipped
Fur-
over
the
it, so
Fur,
I'll get it to him and we'll put it out there. First of 5 consecutive fast track games and the biggest line of the season to date so far. An Andrew Catalan, Charles Davis, Jason McCourty, and AJ Ross special on CBS. It is the New Orleans Saints and the Buffalo Bills. The Bills a 15.5-point favorite. I'm going to go first. I would have no problem laying that spread, but I'm actually more comfortable with the over in this one. I think there will be points to be scored for sure, especially mainly from the Bills side, but the over is the safer and I think actually the better play, if I could say that. Christy?
I'm going to go with the Bills. I'm not betting against Josh Allen, that's for sure.
All right, so she's going to lay the 15.5 of the Bills.
Yep.
Tom?
Bills next.
Nick?
who's up? Me?
You are. Yep.
I'm going with you, Johnny. I'm taking the over. I just think if we learned anything from the Packers-Browns game from last week, where what was the spread of that game? It was like 11 and a half.
8.5.
8.5. It was only 8.
Oh, was it? Oh, I thought it was a bigger line. Oh, I'm thinking of the other game, the Ravens-Browns. We learned from that game, like where that spread was insane, and then it finally came back. But this, I don't trust 16 points, 2 touchdowns plus. I'm agreeing with you, the over. I think the Bills are going to cover most of that number anyway, so give me the over.
Yeah. Michael?
Yeah, I'm going the same way. It's over. I don't trust anything over 11 and a half, so
That's right. That's in your rule. Yep.
So over.
Ben?
You guys are convincing me. I was going to pick the Bills to cover this because I just think the Saints are just that bad. But I also don't trust the Saints defensively to cover that number either. Yeah, I think it's going to be a bloodbath, but I'll go over too.
Okay. And let's see here. Zan also takes the over, and Grant and Nick D are going to lay the 15.5 and take the Bills there in Orchard Park. Well, we have another home favorite double-digit spread in this one. And Christy, a Kenny Albert, Jonathan Vilma, Megan O'Leary special on Fox as we go to Ford Field. Joe Flacco and the Browns against Jared Goff and the Lions are 10.5-point favorite.
Lions.
That's simple.
That's it.
That's simple. Lions.
My
Tom,
up.
what do you have?
Lions.
Lions. Hey, it's called fast track. Nick?
Yeah, Lions. I don't trust the Browns.
Michael?
I think the Browns will surprise us here, but I'm going to go Lions. Be safe.
Ben?
I'm going Browns plus 10.5.
Oh!
Yeah.
Wow.
I like the Browns with the way that they're playing defensively. And the Lions, I think they played really well offensively last week, but they've been kind of just very up and down offensively. Yeah, I like the Browns to cover that 10.5.
See, Ben's following what I did last week. It's exactly why I took the Browns. They have a legitimate Super Bowl caliber defense, but I don't think it travels. And it's in Ford Field where the Lions love to score. The only thing that does concern me is that it is a little bit of a shorter week for the Lions. It's different this time, though. I'm going to take them and lay the 10.5.
Oh, you are taking the Lions.
I am going to take the Lions. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what we'll roll there. That's what we'll roll in Detroit. All right, next fast track, a battle of 0-3 AFC South teams, Tom. It is, in fact, a Beth Mowins, Ross Tucker, Amanda Balionis special on CBS as the Titans take on the Texans. Lowest total of the week, 39.5. Texans laying 7.5.
I don't care if it's the lowest total of the week. The Texans have not impressed me with their offense. The Titans haven't impressed me, period. I don't see this game getting to 40 points. Under, again.
Okay, Nick?
You know what? Originally, I was going to take this as a spread, and then I was thinking about this, and I'm like, am I really... Or did I take this? Oh, no, I did take this as a total. I'm taking the under, too. This is going to be a nightmare. Just of which defense will eventually quit in the end, and that team will win. So, yeah, take the under.
Michael?
I think CJ Stroud, Nico Collins have a big week this week. I'm going to take the Texans here at 7.5.
He's gonna lay it.
Yeah.
Ben?
I don't believe in both teams, but I guess I'll just choose the lesser of the bad. So I'll probably go Texans. They're at home. Titans defensively are just not that good. So I'm gonna go Texans, but it wouldn't shock me. I mean, the under is pretty much my other alternative, but it's a 7.5 point spread. I feel like anything more than that, I'll probably take the under. But I'll take the Texans cover.
Yeah, I'm gonna lay the 7.5 of the Texans. I'm not sure about the total. I think the Texans can actually score in this game because I think their defense is gonna cause a lot of problems. But I think I'm gonna take the Texans. Christy?
Both of these teams need to get off the schneid. They need their first win of the season, and I think that team is the Texans. So I'm going Texans at -7.5.
Tom?
I already said under.
You went already. That's right. I was just seeing your thing.
Oh, yeah.
He was just testing you to make sure you're still there.
That's right, yes.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
All right, so that's what we roll there in Houston. All right, Ben, next fast track is your game. Chris Myers, Mark Schlereth, Jen Hale special on Fox. Drake May and New England Patriots laying 5.5 in Gillette Stadium against Bryce Young and the Panthers.
Yeah, that was an awful loss we had last week, fumbling the ball 5 times. The Steelers, yeah, I'll talk about the Steelers another time, but that loss was Gonzo's back this week. The Panthers scored a shit ton of points last week. I don't think it's going to happen again. Like, gets out. Ted is questionable. Locking this. Taking my Patriots to lock this. I like this pick for us.
Ooh.
I won't be following much up and be able to lock my team, so this is going to be my week.
That's fair. I actually almost did the same thing, Ben. I really did because I think this is a great matchup for them to bounce back. I am going to take the Patriots. I think if you look at the numbers real carefully from the Panthers game last week, there's a lot of things still not to like. And Bryce Young has 1 road win in his career. I don't think he gets the number 2 here. And I just also don't see Mike Vrabel falling to 0-3 at home. So I'm going to back the Patriots there at Gillette. Christy?
Panthers are not going to score 30 this time around. I'm going with the Patriots.
Tom?
I wasn't sure where I was going to lean in this game, except that I wasn't going to lean towards the Panthers. So I just wasn't sure if I was going to do total, if I was going to do Pats. But you have all convinced me I'm going to do Pats.
Nick?
Yeah, I'm taking the Patriots. I don't expect the Panthers to score 30 and win by 30 again this season. I think that was just a little bit of a hoax, to be quite honest with you. So take the Patriots.
And Michael?
Yeah, Patriots bounce back week here. Panthers fall off again.
Okay. So that's what we'll roll there in New England. All right, before we get to this next fast track game, we do have a video supposedly.
Yes. So you want to set this one up beforehand, and then I'll put it up there?
I mean, if you've been following the New York Giants, you kind of know what's going on. You know what the big news is. And so what happens now to old Russell Wilson? I mean...
All right, let's take a look.
Country,
Giants,
country,
Giants,
country, let's ride.
Giants,
Country,
Giants,
country,
Giants,
country, let's ride.
Giants,
Country,
Giants,
country,
Giants,
country,
Giants.
country, let's ride.
See, that's one of the many reasons why I did not want him to be benched this week.
Right.
Now we don't get videos now.
Well, did you see what it said underneath in the caption this week?
Yeah.
Laugh is like a bench of chocolates.
Yeah, I know. Well, I know we could spend an hour talking about the whole Jackson Dart starting, but let's save that for our shows, guys, and let's just focus on the game itself here. So, Tom, you're one of the 2 Giant fans in this group here this week. So we'll start with you in this one. Kevin Harlan, Trent Green, and Melanie Collins on CBS as the Los Angeles Chargers lay 6.5 against Jackson Dart and our Giants.
I really don't know how to feel about Jackson Dart starting this early. I will say, Johnny, just a very brief thing. I will say what I told you earlier, what I said earlier before we started recording. I think it's kind of priceless that everything has been on, Giants has been on quarterback, has been on offense, stable, Shane, when meanwhile, all this hype in the offseason, about Brian Burns and Dexter Lawrence and Abdul Carter and what a great defense this looks like. And I think they've been one of the worst defenses in the National Football League. And when you're talking about this kind of team and this kind of turmoil going up against Justin Herbert and the Chargers, who, if the Chiefs lose this week, are going to have a big door this season to potentially up the Chiefs and grab the AFC West title. Yeah, I'm not betting against Justin Herbert. I'm not going to make this my lock just because I want to give Dart a chance, and there are a couple other games on here that I was looking at that I like the lines better, but I will say Chargers take the money.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, Tom. And you and I share a brain completely because this definitely feels lockable. But the only reason why is I don't know exactly what I'm going to get from Dart. And the only hope that you could have is the fact the amount of travel that Jim Harbaugh's team has done here in the early season, going from Brazil, then going to LA, out west, and now coming back across country. But East Coast early window games haven't fazed him. And that defense is suffocating. And they've got some great weapons as well. I think Dart could actually play well, and it's still not going to be enough. I'm going to take the Chargers. All right, Nick?
Well, since you 2 won't do it, I'll do it.
Yeah,
I'm going to lock this game because this is like throwing Jackson Dart to the wolves, if you ask me. In my opinion, this is not fair to Jackson Dart whatsoever. I know Russ is not playing well, and I shouldn't say that. He played decently. The defense did not play well.
You know who I feel bad for all this, Nick? Jameis Winston.
I mean, I get it, but Jameis Winston was never really going to see the field.
But like Johnny said earlier, when you made Jackson Dart the QB2, this is the problem you were going to run into.
No, I agree. I think you're both right on that scenario that if you're going to have him on the roster, why is he not playing as your QB2 and you have him as your QB3? But the Chargers are just on another level. Justin Herbert is finally playing football the way he was meant to play. The team, now they've had their injuries, which is not great, but I just think this is going to be a game for the Wolves. And I don't mean Timberwolves or any other Wolves. I mean throwing to the Wolves. So this is my lock of the week.
All right, Nick's hoping 4th time is the charm, taking a lock against a team that plays their home games at MetLife Stadium. Michael, what's your pick?
I was going to lock this, but now I'm not because of Nick. But I do think the Chargers win this game. That team is just so good for some reason. Justin Herbert's playing out of his mind, and Ladd hasn't had a good game yet. I think Ladd has a big game, big week. So I'm going to take the Chargers here.
Wait, what was the reason you weren't locking it?
Because you're locking it. And I think there's a different game I want to lock.
Well, just remember. Well, actually, if you did, Nick would have felt better because you're one of only 2 players so far this season that's hit a lock twice in the first 3 weeks.
Well, yeah, the first lock was the Bears. We know how that went.
Right. Well, you already took the money, so there's no going back.
No, yeah,
Ben?
Chargers.
All right, he's taking the Chargers. And Christy.
Chargers.
All right. It's gonna be a clean sweep. And by the way, Zan, who is the only other person to hit 2 locks, is making this his lock with the Chargers, and Grant also is going to lock with the Chargers. So we'll find out. You know what that probably means? Chargers. Knowing our luck, Chargers by 6.
Yeah. I'm calling that now.
That's probably what's going to happen.
I will tell you right now, I will hear a glass shatter because Nick will be throwing something at the screen if that is.
Or the Giants end up playing well and then lose on a field goal.
Well, yeah,
That's
also,
not a first though.
And I will tell you this: I don't have the exact record, but this is a clean sweep for all of us. And I'll be honest with you guys, a clean sweep has not done well this year for us so far.
It's not.
I think it's like 1-4 or something.
Wow.
And it's been and it's difficult because there's other options this season with the total, which is why we don't have as many clean sweeps.
Which means we're all going to lose this game now. Thanks a lot.
You know what, though?
Hey, you know what? If that gave us a Giants victory, I might not be too upset.
We'll find out what happens there at MetLife and with us here in terms of this game. All right, to one of the better games of the week. Nick, a Kevin Burkhardt, Tom Brady, Aaron Andrews, and Tom Rinaldi special on Fox battled 3-0 teams. Jalen Hurts and the Eagles against Baker Mayfield and the Bucks. Eagles, once again, 3.5-point favorites. The total, 43.5.
So, obviously, everyone's going to talk about that the Rams were the most in the upset because a lot of people bet the Rams plus 3.5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Of course, everyone knows the linebacker runs the ball all the way back off the block field goal, which he did not have to, but for some reason he felt inclined to run that ball all the way back.
He was excited, and we got a big guy touchdown for that.
I mean, no, and I'm all for big guy touchdowns. Don't you worry. But like everyone who had the Eagles covering was ecstatic, obviously, with that ball being run back. Do we know how many yards that was or no?
I don't have the exact
like
number.
60s. I think it was in
60.
It was like 50s or 60s.
I'd say 60 plus.
That's a real big man touchdown right there.
Yes.
As well as the Bucs have played, and Baker Mayfield has been great. There is some injuries to their offensive line, which is coming into this week, which was an issue. And I think even though Baker has figured it out in Tampa, there is weeks where he kind of goes on a hill and a valley. And I think now, because he's been so good so far, I think he's going to have a down game. And having a down game against the Eagles is obviously not the formula. So I'm going to take the Eagles to cover.
Michael.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a game where it's going to be a passing game, and the Eagles kind of look scary that second half when they started feeding A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith the ball. So, and with the injury of Mike Evans, Godwin might be coming back, though. Abuka has looked very good for the Bucs, but then I don't want to bet against the Eagles here, so I'm going to take the Eagles to cover.
Ben.
All right, so you guys obviously mentioned the Eagles. The Bucs, obviously, right now, currently, Baker's questionable, but I think he's going to play. Godwin looks like he might be coming back. Wirfs could be potentially coming back, but obviously Evans is going to be missing for a couple weeks. However, I'm not going to go with the spread here. I'm going to take the over in this game. And it's because, personally, the Buccaneers absolutely own the Eagles. We obviously see in current past matchups, the Baker against the Eagles seems to be very, very favorable for him, regardless specific of how good the Eagles team is. So I think there's going to be a lot of points in this game. I think, obviously, Emeka Buka has really helped him a lot. Bucky Irvin, I think, has really helped in the passing game. Baker, I think, will still play well. But I'm going to go with the over here.
Yeah. So last week, my bad beat was never played because I took the under last week, and that didn't work. But I'm going to go the other way this week, and I'm going to join Ben. I'm also taking the over because when I look at this matchup, this is almost very similar to the matchup last week in that the just like the Rams, the Bucs have been great at stuffing the run, and they've been very prone to the passing game, and that's what we saw Jalen Hurts do last week for 3 touchdowns. And we know how great this Tampa Bay offense can be. Now, Mike Evans being out is a big blow to them, but maybe Godwin coming back helps that too. But I think there actually will be some points scored. So last week in the Eagles game, I went with the under. I think this time it hits the over. So that's what I'm going to do. And by the way, we have a 3-0 Eagles team that their offense is being called boring, and we have a Bucs team that's 3-0 with their combined total by 6 points. So,
by the way, not to interrupt for a second, but who is Drew Brees to say that the offense is boring, considering the Saints was a boring offense the year that they won the Super Bowl?
And you know what's really funny? The first thing I thought of when Drew Brees had said that is, it reminds me a lot of what we were talking about with the Chiefs last year, how they were just eaten by with wins.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Who cares? A win is a win. This is not college football where it matters how you win. It's
Mm-hmm.
It's
just win.
3-0 versus 3-0. This is a
That's
game
right.
of
You're
the
3-0, and it doesn't matter how you do it. Just get the wins, and you'll be fine. I mean, maybe it gets prone in like the big playoff games, and that's what I think ultimately ended up happening with the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. But you know what? You got to get there, and it doesn't matter how you do it. All right, Christy, what do you have here?
They're both 3-0. Both their QBs are good. I'm gonna go against the odds. I'm going with the Bucks.
All right, and Tom.
I was thinking Bucks. I was because of the stat that Ben had mentioned about how good Baker performs against the Eagles. And because the little hook kind of scared me. But honestly, the couple of you who said that you were taking the over, yeah, I like both of these offenses so much that I'm going to side with you guys. I'm also going to go on an over here.
All right, and Zan and Grant also taking the Eagles, and Nick D is taking the Bucks. So we are all over the place here, and that only makes sense with a matchup of 3-0 teams there in Tampa. Now we go to the late window, and I got to tell you, all four of these late window games are pretty
Grant said
good.
Grant said he had the over for the Eagles game.
Oh, did he? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I remember he switched that.
He did switch it. You're right. All right, I'll put it in there.
I got it.
I'll go back and take care of all that. So he takes the over there. All right. Speaking of high totals, that's what we have here. Pretty cool matchup to start the late window, Ben. Kevin Kugler, Darrow Moose Johnston, Allison Williams special on Fox. Probably the best story of the year so far. Daniel Jones and the 3-0 Colts taking on Matt Stafford and the 2-1 Rams at SoFi Stadium. Rams, though, are the 3.5-point favorites, and the total just under 50.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've been loving the Indiana Jones story for the first couple of weeks here. Obviously, he faced the Dolphins in the first week. Their defense doesn't look great. The second week, they played the Broncos. They might be kind of mess so far. And then they took on the Titans. Their defense isn't great. Well, Indiana Jones is be taking on a very good defense. That is the Rams. I think that whatever type of story he's had so far, and granted, he's had a really good story so far, I think it ends at least for a week for this Sunday. I'm taking the Rams here. It's a really tough place to play anyway. The Rams play really well at home. And, the Rams obviously had that game won last week. They haven't had a problem moving the ball. And Stafford's played well so far. So I'm going to take the Rams to cover here.
See, this game is why I'm so glad that we introduced the totals as options this year, because this would be a very tough one to take against the spread, because I feel like this spread is begging you to take the Colts, and I would not want to do that because I feel like it's telling me to go one way. Real quick about Jones. A lot of people are talking about this, and then, some of them, of course, the anti-Giants media trying to take a shot at the Giants too, when people would actually realize that what he's doing in Indy is very similar to what he did with the Giants, in that he's got a solid offensive line. What I'm talking about is the year that he took the Giants to the playoffs. Solid offensive line, good weapons, great running game, and a solid defense. And that's what he's got so far in there. I think it also speaks to what Indy has done well with this team. Look, not a Shane Steichen fan, but you know what? He looks like he actually hit the right button this time so far. So we're going to stay away from picking a team this time. I'm going to go to the total here, and I think this game's really about the running attack. I'm very curious to see, because I think the Rams have the talent up front, like Ben said, to contain, maybe not stop, but contain Jonathan Taylor. And we know how. And for the Colts, the question is, how is their run defense going to hold up against one of the most consistent rushing attacks? When I talk about running attacks, it usually doesn't lead to points. It leads to time of possession, which leads to fewer points. I'm taking the under as the play. That's where I'm the most comfortable. I'm just not comfortable taking the spread here because it feels like it's tempting me to go one way, and when that's the case, I'd go the other. So we'll play the total instead and take the under in this game. Christy?
I mean, Daniel Jones is a great story. Goes from New York, goes to Indianapolis, and he's playing really, really well. The Indiana Jones thing, that's cool and all that. But I'm going to go with the Rams to cover.
Tom?
Yeah, I got to give credit to Daniel Jones where it's due. He looks great. kind of proof that, the Giants' continual struggles is with the offensive line, just year in and year out. Having said that, yeah, he's playing an actual really good defense this week. So I think the Colts will perform well again, but I'm going to take the Rams.
Nick, what do you think?
So originally, and again, I'm switching my pick again. Originally, I had the Colts plus 3.5 because I think this is a little bit of disrespect to the Colts the way they've been playing so far. I get it. I know the matchups have not been great. They've been playing some bad teams, but can we give Daniel Jones a little bit of credit for going to Indianapolis and completing over 70% of his passes?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't just that doesn't happen by accident. Like
He looks like his 2022 self.
Correct. And I think, and no disrespect to Saquon when he had him there, but I think the weapons are better that he has currently right now with the Colts than he does with the Giants.
Right.
So I think that's actually
it's a whole
helping.
different system.
So just because, and I think what we're mistaking partially here is everyone is saying, oh, it's all Daniel Jones who's helping them win the game. It's not. It's everybody working together as a team. Jonathan Taylor has had an incredible first couple of games, which is really helping Daniel Jones to kind of spread the offense out and complete more passes because Taylor is more of a threat. So it's causing defenses to kind of split out a little bit more. So originally I was going to go Colts plus 3.5 because I thought this was disrespectful, but the number is outrageous. It's big.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go under 49.5 because I don't see this game going 50, 51 points. It's just an outrageous number.
Yeah.
Michael?
Yeah, so I'm actually the opposite of what you just said. I am going to take a total. I'm going to go over on this game. I think this is going to be one of your shootout games. The Colts have a lot to prove against an actual good team here, which I think they will. I think the Rams still do win this game. I think the Rams still cover, but I am going to go over 49.5 just because I think this game will be a shootout. I think Jonathan Taylor scores 2 touchdowns. I think Puka probably scores 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I just see this being an over 50-point game, so that's why I'll go over here.
So kind of getting a little loose, you think, there in LA?
Yeah, I think it's gonna get crazy.
Can we get that on? Can we get that on a shirt for our ETB merch store one day? It's getting loose.
Loose.
Yeah,
And you have to say it too in a certain way.
Exactly.
And I will say that when we get to a game because there is a game that I think things are going to get absolutely loose. I don't think it's not going to be here though. By the way, real quick, I just want to tell you what our other guys did because there was one interesting play in this one. So let's see here. Zan has the Colts plus 3.5. Grant's taking the Rams. And Nick D is taking the Rams and making it his lock of the week.
Whoa!
Wow!
Oh my god!
So there we go. So definitely something to watch here. So again, all of us all over the place here at SoFi Stadium. Another interesting game in the 4:05 window, guys. Adam Amin, Mark Sanchez, Christina Pink special on Fox. It is Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars heading to SoFi Stadium to take on Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers, with the 49ers laying 3.5 and the over-under 46.5. And I'm going to go here first. And guys, I cannot tell you how much I love the under in this game. Before I get to why, there's 2 big surprises with this game. It's the Jaguars defense, which is actually another reason why I'm taking the under, which it ranks first in the NFL in takeaways, 5th in points allowed, and 10th in yards. And the 49ers, they're 3-0, believe it or not, despite the fact that it seems like they can't shake off the injury bug. And now Nick Bosa out for the year, huge loss for their defense. But I'm going to tell you why I'm going to like the under. I love the under. It's the Jaguar offense being way too inconsistent. It's all the drops that they have. It's Trevor Lawrence, the way that he plays. It's also on the 49ers side, Christian McCaffrey's slow start. How is Brock Purdy going to be? There's so many reasons on and on. So I'm going to leave it just at that. And, I said how much I love this, right? I love the under. It's my lock of the week.
Oh, so I was tempted to do an under with the lock with the Washington game, but I said no, I'm not going to do it. But there you go.
Last week we took an over and we missed it And this week, we're going to try an under and see if we can hit a lock for the first time. Christy?
I think with Brock Purdy coming back, I think the Niners, I think they're going to win. So I'm going to go Niners at -3.5.
Tom?
Johnny, you've convinced me. I'm jumping from the 49ers pick originally, and I'm going to join you on the under team because I didn't realize I knew the Jags had the little something in them, but I didn't realize just how good their defense is. And I am concerned about all the injuries that San Francisco has. Having said that, I think San Fran has proven so far that they have been able to overcome all these injuries. But yeah, I don't know if this game gets to 47 points.
Nick?
Actually, I'm going to join the under team too on this one. I just don't see a lot of points being scored in this game. I know Purdy's back, but he's still fighting the turf toe injury and all that stuff that's going on. So how mobile can he actually be to escape the pocket? I think you're going to see more blitzes by the Jaguars this week, knowing that he can't escape. So I'm going to take the under. I just don't think the points are going to be reached.
What about you, Michael?
So here's a little weird thing. So Shane Waldron is their offensive coordinator, right? Whatever it is, but he's on the Jags team, and that's why BTJ has been terrible because JSN was bad when Shane Waldron was there. He leaves, does good. Rome Odunze, not that good last year, leaves, now he's insane. But with that, I don't like the injuries with the 49ers. Brock Purdy's coming back. Juwan Jennings is still on the injury report. Ricky Pearsall just got added to the injury report. That's why I'm actually going to take the Jags here because that defense is so good. And I don't think the 49ers defense will be as good without Nick Bosa because that's a huge loss. So I'm going to take the Jags here.
Okay. And Ben?
I'm going to go under. I think you guys convinced me because I think Brock obviously coming back is a good boost, but I'm not convinced of how he's going to be since coming back from injury. And then Jaguars, I'm not a big fan of their offense at all. I think it's just very sparse. Defensively, they're all right, but I mean, obviously, like Mike was talking about with BTJ, he's on one of my fantasy teams. He has not given me anything so far, so maybe I guess that puts into perspective about that. And then Travis Hunter is like their other weapon, but you basically just don't kind of know what's going to happen every week with him. So I'm going to go the under here.
Okay. So that's what would roll there in San Francisco. All right, Christy, a big matchup here of 1 and 2 teams out in Kansas City. Jim Nantz, Tony Romo, and Tracy Wolfson on CBS as Lamar Jackson and the Ravens take on Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs. And that's not a typo. Second time this season, the Chiefs are getting points at home at Arrowhead Stadium. It's the Ravens laying 2.5. The total's 48.5.
Heck with it. I'm picking the Chiefs. And here's the other part of this. Lock of the week.
Wow.
So with that also, the Chiefs can lose by 2 and Christy can still get a win.
I could.
By doing that. So listen, getting points at home the way these two are, it's not a crazy play.
I just knew there was a method to me doing that.
I mean, in all fairness, there are people, it's like going into the Giants game where people are like, they just can't see the Chiefs going to 0-3. People cannot picture the Chiefs falling to 1-3. Thing is, it could be a reality when you consider the way that the Ravens have played so far in this season and the way that the Chiefs have played so far. And you know what? That is going to be reality because I am going to take Baltimore in this one. I don't feel like I have a choice. I mean, the Chiefs didn't look great against the Chargers and the loss against the Chargers. Xavier Worthy getting injured. The offense is all banged up. The offense doesn't look great. And to be honest, I know the offense kind of came alive in the second half against the Giants, but the fact that it took until the second half against the lowly New York Giants, I'm sorry. There's just something. It's going to be the Chiefs are going to fall to 1-3, and Nick Morganson, you better prepare to sound the alarm for next week because at that point, we're gonna have to say that we are concerned with the Chiefs if we're not already.
Might have to do a Chiefs country. Let's ride if that happens.
Yeah,
So kiss of death on him, pretty much.
yeah, but take the money. Take the money.
All right.
Uh.
Where are you going this?
Where am I going here? Yeah, I'm taking the Ravens too. Yeah, I just think the Chiefs are in free fall. Now, I'm going to take it a step further than Tom does. I think the Chiefs are going to go into free fall mode when they lose this game. And I think that there's going to be huge panic alarms that go off in Arrowhead and the Chiefs.
I kind of want to say I'm going where you're going to go with it, but there is another game that's going to allow me to present a take.
Well, no, I already took a lock, but like,
no.
Oh.
It's not about a lock. It's about I have a take about the Chiefs season, but it's going to relate to a later game.
But basically, what I'm going to say is take the Ravens. I think the Chiefs are going to free fall, and I think they're going to miss the playoffs.
Oh,
Well, just
bold
remember,
take that is his bold take right there.
it's not a crazy thought though, because they would fall to 1-3.
and the Chargers. If the Chargers beat the Giants,
win, right, 4-0, and they own the tiebreaker, and the Chiefs still have to play the Lions and the Bills amongst their opponents, and the AFC West, which is not a gimme this year.
yeah, Johnny, it's like what I said before. If the Chargers beat the Giants and the Chiefs fall to the Ravens, the door is open for the Chargers.
But yeah, but Ravens take the money though.
Yeah, you're gonna lay them, Michael.
Yeah, so I think the over is hit every game the Ravens have played. So I think that's like the safest play here, because the over 40.5. Worthy is coming back for the Chiefs. He is expected to play. So I think that gives a little life to the Chiefs offense, and then I think the Chiefs might actually win this game, if I'm being honest. I don't know. I have a weird feeling. I feel like Mahomes just kind of owns Lamar Jackson in a sense. So, but the over's calling my name here, so I'm going to take the over at 48.5.
Okay. Ben.
I agree with Mike. I'm going to go with the over here. The Ravens defense, I'm not sure if they're going to get any of their guys back they missed from last week. They got absolutely rambled on the running game. Now, the Chiefs don't personally right now, their running attack's been kind of spotty, but I think with the addition of getting back Xavier Worthy, I think it's going to help them immensely, because I do think that kind of takes away some of the coverages off of Travis Kelce, personally on the defensive side. So the Ravens defensively and the passing defense hasn't been great, so maybe this is a way Mahomes can kind of get himself going. But the Ravens defense scares me, so I'm going to take the over here. I think there's going to be some points.
I just want to back up the stat. Mahomes is 4-1 all time versus Lamar, so
There you go.
that kind of backs up the stat.
Yeah. So I'm trying to find the best play in this one. I had a real tough time between these two teams, because you know how high I was on the Ravens and how disappointed I've been with them so far to start the year. I totally agree with Michael and Ben. The best play is the over. And actually, to add on to what those two were saying, I went back and looked at the number. The Ravens are 16-5-1 on the over-under since the start of – so the over has hit 16-5-1 since the start of last season. And, because they're scoring – I mean, they score a lot, but they've been giving up a lot. That's been the thing. So I think that that has a tendency to get into shootouts. And the Chiefs offense, if Worthy comes back, maybe it trends in the right direction, and maybe playing a terrible defense at home is also a get-right recipe for them. So even if they don't win, I think it also leads to higher points. 28-24 hits the over, so that could be it. So I will take the over. And let's see. Zan's also taking the over. Grant's taking the Ravens, and Nick D is taking the Chiefs. So all over the place as well here. They're at GEHA Field at Arrowhead Stadium. One more fast-track game to end the week. Michael, it's a Spiro, Adam, and Adidas special on CBS. It is your Chicago Bears getting 1.5 at Allegiant Stadium against Geno Smith and the Las Vegas Raiders, and the over-under is at 48.5. Do I have to ask?
No, this is my lock of the week. Bears. Bears lock of the week. I think this is the freest line of the whole week. I think Bears getting a point here is big. Caleb's coming off of his NFC Player of the Week. he had a big game. I think it continues. I think we go into the bye 2-2, and we come out of the bye and win 2 straight again, and then play the Ravens and then lose. But
Oh.
so this Bears at +1.5 is my lock of the week.
So we have multiple players this week taking an underdog as their lock of the week. I like it, albeit a slight one for both. Ben Cruz?
Right.
Going the under. I don't trust either team specifically consistently right now, so I'm going to go under to play it safe.
Oh, Ben, no. This game is going to get – stay with me, everybody. This game is going to get loose. Think about this. We just had the Raiders come off of giving up 41 points to a backup quarterback there in Washington. And we know how the Bears the Bears can score, but the Bears defense is suspect too. I mean, Geno's numbers actually looked pretty good. If you had him in fantasy, he did great for you last week. I think this game is going to get up there big time. I love the over. I think, as I said, 50s, dare I say, come close to 60. I think we could see these teams hitting 30 each.
Yeah.
I mean, the key also with that is that this number is below 49, which helps that bet too. But I'm hammering the over. I think this game gets loose for sure.
And to put it in perspective, Kyler Gordon and TJ Edwards haven't practiced all week, so that's a big loss again. So our defense is going to put up – they're going to give up points.
Oh, I mean, yeah, and the Raiders just don't have anybody on defense outside of Max Crosby. They really don't.
Yeah.
Christy, what's yours?
I'm going to go with Bears. Caleb Williams coming off that huge win against the Cowboys, so I don't see the momentum ending for him anytime soon right now. So Bears.
Bears.
Bear down, baby.
The Bears.
I haven't liked either of these teams for the first 3 weeks, but I like the Bears and the way they performed against Dallas last week. You know, that shows that they really are able to perform to the level that we thought that they could entering this season. The Raiders, I can't say much for. So Mike's going to be happy. Zan's going to be happy. Grant's going to be happy. I'm also going with the Bears. And not just +1, actually, because it's such a short line. It would be an outright victory.
Yeah. So you'll take the Bears. Nick Mortensen?
Yeah, shockingly, I'm taking the Bears. Actually, +1.5.
Wow.
The Raiders. Who are the Raiders? Like, I don't really know where to put them in perspective at all. And yes, I have more experience than mostly everybody because I dealt with that quarterback for a long time in Geno Smith. And like you said, Max Crosby is really the only name on that roster currently. All the weird attention that's been going on around them, too, with Tom Brady putting on the headset and sitting in the booth on Monday Night Football, too, which was kind of odd. Yeah, take the Bears.
Weird.
Okay. By the way, I'll give you one guess of who you think Grant and Zan took.
Bears.
Bears.
Bears, yep. And
The
Nick D took the Raiders.
Of course he did.
So that's what we'll go there in Vegas.
Hey fans, Novig is here to change the way you play. Available in 35 states, including California, Texas, Florida, and New York, Novig is America's #1 sports prediction market, and it's 10 times more profitable than traditional sports books because there's no house edge. Instead, you're betting directly against other sports fans just like yourself. Novig is also the only free exchange, which means you keep every dollar you win, whether you're putting plays down on the NFL, the NBA, the NHL, Major League Baseball, college sports, or even UFC and tennis. Novig gives you the power to pick the best odds, or better yet, set your own. Sign up today with the code ETB Network, and you'll get 1,000 Novig coins plus $5 in Novig cash, and special bonus offers like spending $5 and getting $50 back. Novig, where fans play smarter. You must be 21 years or older to play. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The football forecast is presented by Playback. Watching sports is more fun with others, but we spend too much of our time watching alone. Playback is a virtual space where communities can stream live sports together, with everyone perfectly synced up. Creators can hop on stage, deliver their own play-by-play analysis and commentary, and invite viewers up for Q&A. Playback makes watching sports fully interactive and a social experience. From playing fantasy sports, repping your favorite players and teams, and watching with the commentators and communities you care about. Win or lose, sports are best enjoyed together. Join our community by going to playback.tv/ETB Network to find out more, including our live stream schedule. And now back to the show. All right, time for primetime picks presented by Playback. And we go to Sunday Night Football on NBC first. And Christy, Mike Tirico, Chris Collinsworth, and Melissa Stark get us started on NBC as it's the Green Bay Packers and Jordan Love heading to AT&T Stadium, and also the return of Micah Parsons, I should say, as they take on Dak Prescott and your Dallas Cowboys, and it's the Pack laying 6.5.
Don't worry, Jerry Jones once called him Michael Parsons too.
They're going to get trounced. Michael Parsons is going to hit Dak Prescott so damn hard he ends up on the ground this many times, about 3. And Dak Prescott, or not Dak Prescott, Michael Parsons is going to make the Cowboys look like a bunch of chumps. And Jordan Love's going to do what he does best. So, yes, I am the Cowboys fan here, but I'm going Packers -6.5.
Take the money. Tom?
He's taking the money.
How about them Cowboy?
Thank you. Yeah, man, you completely threw me off my game with that. Oh my God. All right.
Oh dear God.
Well, look, I just talked about with the last game. I talked about how the Bears completely trounced Dallas. And look, I know the Packers are pretty pissed about last week, and I should feel really pissed at them for the way that I lost the lock in the fourth quarter, going from shutting out the Browns to losing to the Browns. That being said, it's Dallas. It's a Micah Parsons revenge game, and like Christy said, I see him just completely trouncing every single Packers offense. I mean, every single Cowboys offensive player on that field. So you know what? I will give Green Bay the benefit of the doubt. I will give them the second chance. Dallas did not get the video. Maybe they could have gotten a video, but like I said, I'll give the Bears the credit where it's due. But to make up for it, Packers, here's the second chance. Here you go. Lock of the week.
Oh! Unreal.
What? Damn.
Nick, what do you have?
I went from making Mike happy to pissing him off.
See, exactly.
You did.
Yeah, this game, I don't actually like this game, to be quite honest, at all.
It's going to be ugly.
I mean, I think Micah Parsons is going to have 3 or 4 sacks. I think he's going to take his anger out. I think he's going to take his anger out on the Cowboys, knowing that he probably should have been paid, even though Jerry's going to go around and say, I didn't have to pay Dak. Micah. I didn't have to pay either of them. You know what? I'm just not going to pay anybody. How about that?
Yeah.
But
except my Dak and my CD. I love those two.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm forever angry at Jerry Jones for trading Micah Parsons. I'm sorry.
So I think Micah's going to, like I said, come out and have 3 or 4 sacks. I think the Packers are going to come out and be angry to no end. I think this is a obvious cover. Take the Packers.
Michael?
Oh,
Michael. So it's either the against the spread or a total.
Take a total, Michael. Take a total.
The Packers looked so bad last week. So did the Cowboys.
Take a total.
Cowboys have so many injuries. I will never pick the Packers whatsoever. I am going under 46.5 here.
Wow.
Under.
Wow.
Give me the under on this game.
Oh my
Packers
God.
might score 5 or 7 points.
What?
They suck. Packers suck.
No.
Terrible.
No.
Real
They're
original.
not scoring just 7.
7-6 winner there. That'll count.
It's going to be 7-0. This game is going to be terrible.
Wait. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Cowboys will score 0.
I'm gonna calm down.
All right. So the Russ country, let's ride. He had his best game against the Cowboys defense. And this is not a knock on Russ, but then you saw what happened last week with Russ, and he was throwing the ball to the other end zone, specifically over the end zone. So it wasn't pretty for Russ. But regardless of the fact, the Packers need to come back and bounce back in this one. and I think they will. The Cowboys' passing defense is not good at all. They've been basically giving up. Obviously Caleb Williams had a big game, last week against their pass. Russell Wilson the week before, and then who do the Cowboys have the first week? I'm trying to remember.
Lions.
Eagles.
No, Eagles.
Eagles.
It was the
I mean,
Eagles.
Eagles obviously
Cowboys.
put up decent amount also.
They
Yeah,
did.
I'm gonna go with the Packers here. I was actually thinking this as my lock of the week, but I didn't go with that. I think Jordan Love is gonna absolutely torch the Cowboys, so I'm gonna go with Packers to take the money.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. This was actually a choice for lock of the week for me. I think Jordan Love bounces back here in a great way. Hopefully to Tucker Kraft, since I have him in fantasy. He's a great tight end for fantasy if you don't have him, by the way. But yeah, I love the Pack here laying the 6.5. I think look, you know what I'll say about Dak? Dak might put up some good numbers. He's going to be the 2025 version of Joe Burrow. That's what it's going to be. He's got no defense and nothing else. And also, he does not have CeeDee Lamb in this game, and also his first round pick Tyler Booker also out for this one. So now they're starting to get injuries on top of everything else. And we say Dallas a new ideal opponent for a team low rebound. That's what it's going to be. I'm going to take the Packers. Zan's taking the Packers, and Grant and Nick D, by the way, taking the over in this game. So they'll be a little bit different from everybody else there at AT&T Stadium. All right, time for another 2-pack of Monday Night Football games. Not a doubleheader, but a 2-pack, including this special. And for Nick, we've got Chris Fowler, Dan Orlovsky, Louis Riddick, Katie George, and Peter Schrager on ESPN as the Jets take on the Miami Dolphins. Looks like it's trending towards a return for Justin Fields, by the way, for your Jets, Nick. So this is going to be interesting to see where you go here. You're ready to put your lock of the week in this game. And it's the Dolphins who are laying 2.5.
I will tell you how I felt after the dancing moment in that game, after blocking the field goal. I will tell you I was not confident we were going to win that game even after the block. But, of course, then this moment comes to mind.
I am having a very bad day. Today is one of the worst days that I've had in a long time.
Yeah. But it bothers me. Like, Glenn bothers me as a head coach. I don't think he's going to survive New York for a long period of time. If he's going to start dancing around knowing he thought he won the game. I have no confidence. Celebration. I have no confidence in this team still. It has not changed. And I think that's also a bad omen that he tried to celebrate before the game was over, too.
Right.
So, Dolphins win by a lot. I don't know what it is, but it's going to be a cover, and it's going to be a lot.
And that's saying something because Nick's not been high on the Dolphins either this year. So, he had to pick somebody. Michael, what's your pick?
Yeah, I think since it's a division matchup, I'm going to take the over 44.5 here. I think Fields has a big game. Garrett Wilson. I do think Tua kind of figures it out a little bit. He might still throw 2 picks, but I just think there's going to be a lot of points here with both defenses not being crazy good or good at all. So over 44.5.
Ben?
I like Miami. They actually moved the ball decently last week against Buffalo. They obviously made it a game for at least a couple quarters last week. And I don't know. I just think that they're kind of due for a get-right type of game for their offense. And 2.5 I feel pretty good with. So I'm going to go Dolphins.
You think I can pick the Jets?
No.
Do it.
No.
Do it.
No.
Please don't. No.
Do it.
No.
You think although I did pick them to cover last week. Can't pick the Jets. Do you think there's any way in the world I can pick the Dolphins?
No.
Maybe.
That's why
You're going to take the over, aren't you?
Oh, absolutely taking the over.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yes.
actually, think about it. With how bad the Dolphins are defensively and how quietly the Jets have actually put up numbers in 2 of their 3 games, this actually very quietly I think has a chance to be a sneaky shootout. So there's no way I could pick one. But I will tell you this, though. The Jets go in there and win this game, even if they win it by a score or 2, watch what happens down there in Miami. You know, Mike McDaniel fire alert down there. I think he saved his job last 10 days prior. But you know how angry the Dolphins fans are going to be, especially at a home game, if the Jets go down there and win, and let's say very quietly win by 10 points or so.
Oh,
Something we may be talking about here next week.
What the hell were the scheduling makers thinking putting this game on Monday Night Football, though?
And also, real quick, I think they said, is this the third time that in Monday Night Football era that we've had 2 0-3 teams playing each other?
On Monday Night Football, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I think you're right.
I remember years and years ago, Washington and Dallas played on Monday Night Football. And
that was one of them. I remember,
So,
yes, I was looking at it. It was 2 other ones, and that was one of them. And if I remember correctly, Christy, I think that final score of that game was 9-7.
Yeah, that was sad.
Yeah. Well, Christy, it's your turn. What's going to be your play in this game?
Oh, God, I don't like either team, to be completely honest. I mean, Tua's one is – I mean, I don't doubt he's going to get at least one pass into Tyreek Hill for a touchdown. So I'm going to go with Dolphins cover.
Tom?
I know nobody here has confidence in the Jets, but honestly, I have even less confidence in Miami. I think honestly, now my play is not going to be picking the Jets. I'm actually going to join you, Johnny, and I'm going to take an over on this one. But I honestly see, Johnny, what you said. I see the Jets pulling off the upset. I see Mike McDaniel getting fired this week. And depending on how October goes for Miami, and depending on the health of Tua, because, I mean, let's be real, one more bad injury, and I think we're talking about potential career ender for Tua. Remember when I said what I said about I was going to connect a point that I was making in the Chiefs game? That there was something I was going to say? And it wasn't in the direction that you were going, Nick Morgeson, in that they missed the playoffs. My hot take is Miami self-destructs, and Tyreek Hill ends up back in a Kansas City uniform.
That's not shocking, though, I feel like.
No.
I think it's going to happen.
I think it's going to be a matter of when, not if.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, just to be fair, I'm saying if the Jets win, I think McDaniel gets fired. I don't know what ends up happening. I think there's a better chance this game ends up in a 23-23 tie than happening.
That would be embarrassing and humiliating for both, and I think McDaniel
I
still
agree,
gets fired
but the difference is, like you said, the Jets quietly can put up numbers, and honestly, I've lost complete confidence in Miami. I did not think that they were going to start 0-3, but here we are.
All right. Well, we'll find out. By the way, the other 3 guys all taking the Dolphins there on Monday Night Football as well.
Okay.
All right, Tom, I finished with you there, and I'll end the week with you here on the other half of the Monday Night Football game, which kicks off an hour later at 8:15 p.m. Eastern on ABC. A Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, Lisa Salters, Laura Rutledge special as Jake Browning and the Cincinnati Bengals head to Mile High to take on Bo Nix and the Broncos. Broncos laying 7.5.
I hate this game. I want to say what happened with Minnesota in that game was just a really weird and really bad night. But I am loving what the Broncos are doing with Bo Nix. His sophomore season has been great. I love what's been going on with that team. And again, Johnny, we're talking about an AFC West where potentially the Chiefs fall to 1-3, and then the whole door is wide open. So, you know what? Just for the hell of that, I'm going to go Broncos take the money.
Okay.
Wow.
Ooh.
Nick?
Actually, I'm going to jump on that same track. I'm going to take the Broncos minus 7.5. Jake Browning scared me last week, the way he played. Like, everyone was giving him, saying that, he's like a confident backup and he can step in, no problem. Like, and by the way, you're welcome, because I predicted there was going to be a Joe Burrow issue again this year. I didn't think it was going to be an injury. Let me be clear about that. But this team they're nothing without him. They can't score. They can't do anything. So I think this is going to be easy, to be quite honest. I think the Broncos are going to cover. So take the money.
Michael?
Yeah, I don't like either of these teams, if I'm being completely honest. I also don't like the point total either, because I think both. Oh man, I love the Bengals. The Bengals are one of my favorite teams, and I just don't like the Broncos at all. I don't know
What's your
why.
choice?
Tough one, I know.
Wow, oh my god.
I'm going to surprise you. I'm taking the Bengals here to cover.
Okay.
I'm going to take the Bengals. I think Jamar Chase has a big game on PS2. I think I don't know. I'm just taking Bengals here.
Okay.
I didn't know the Broncos relocated to Green Bay.
Nope. No, I don't know why. I don't know why I don't like them. I just don't. This is something about them.
One of those two play each other later in the year. I'll see.
Yeah.
Ben?
Right.
I think, guys, the defenses have finally gotten some film on Jake Browning, because I think there is a pretty good chance that the way that he's playing this year, he's up there and leading with interceptions. I think he's serviceable, but I don't know if you want to keep on continuously banking on this guy for the foreseeable future. I think the Broncos have, to be fair, they've been really close in a lot of these games recently. They were close in that Chargers game this past Sunday. They were close in the game prior against the Colts. This Broncos team, I still think, is going to be a solid team. And the Bengals have to go to a really tough environment. Denver's always really tough, especially at nighttime. So I'm going to go with the Broncos here, and I feel pretty good about covering that number.
Yeah. Remember, Bo Nix started off slow last year, too, before he turned things on. So he definitely has plenty of time to turn things on. I think this is the game he does turn it on. I like the Broncos a lot here. I couldn't believe how bad it was last week for the Broncos. I mean, for the Bengals, I should say, because really, I mean, it was not just Browning. It was their defense. It was their special teams. It was all of that. And one thing to keep in mind here too is if the Bengals start to fall off, look for Hendrickson to possibly being one of those guys that could get dealt. Look at the 49ers. Look at the 49ers as one of those teams that making a play. I was talking about that with somebody. They said, do you think that the Bengals will trade for Russell Wilson? I said, there's a better chance that Hendrickson gets traded to another team before they bring in another QB. By accident, I think he'll play a little bit better, Browning, but there's a lot of holes in that team. And I think the Broncos now, with extra rest at home, I think that helps Nix out. And like you said, very close in the last two games, easily could have won both of those. I'm going to take the the Broncos. I took them last week, but not this week.
Hey, you pulled a me this week.
Almost. But I'm going to take the money. All right, Christy, last pick of the week is yours.
Okay, I like the Broncos. I like Cortland Sutton. I like Bo Nix. He has great potential. I'm going with the Broncos, taking the money.
All right, and only Nick D is going to take the Bengals plus 7.5, but everybody else is going to take the Broncos to wrap up here.
I took the Bengals,
and you took the Bengals. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The other two guys. I'm
just surprised. I'm just not surprised that Nick D did that.
Yeah, me neither.
We'll find out, and that'll put a wrap on week 4 of the football forecast. So again, international games now, as well as our regular games, and then next week we will start getting some buys involved. So we won't have every game. We won't have 16 games starting next week, but that'll put a wrap on week 4. Of course, make sure, folks, to check us out. Again, social media, TFB Forecast ETB on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. On the video side, youtube.com/ETB Network. And, of course, if you can't watch us on the video side, make sure to listen to us wherever you get your favorite podcasts on the audio side. And, of course, the football forecast is presented by Playback. You'll have on Sunday, you will have the Gridiron Gurus with Grant, Michael, and Ben. That's coming up at noon. And then, of course, Red Zone to follow after that. That is week 4 starting at noon.
Yeah.
So there you go for there. And, of course, also our odds presented by Novig. So, guys, have yourselves a wonderful weekend. It's going to be a long football Sunday starting at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, lasting until about 11.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun NFL week. We're finally getting into that buy section, so it'll make this show a little bit easier to get through.
Yeah,
enjoy the college games tomorrow too. We got a lot of big college games tomorrow. People like college.
Big sports weekend, not only just the NFL, but all aboard, all across. And we'll talk about it on our shows next week and then back here again as well. So for Tom, Nick, Michael, Christy, and Ben, and Zan, and Grant, and Nick D, I'm Johnny Montalbano. Everybody enjoy your football weekend, and we'll catch you all again next week.